Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting East Coast Honda. And I'm checking out a completely redesigned 2018 Honda Odyssey in the touring trim level. So this vehicle is a home away from home and has a bunch of features to show off. So let's go ahead and get started. This Odyssey is sitting on 235/60 Bridgestone tires wrapped around 18-inch alloy wheels. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc brakes in the front and solid disc brakes in the back. In addition to the sensors on the side of the vehicle and next to the rear view mirror in the windshield, there's also some sensors behind the Honda emblem there in the front of the vehicle. So this has the Honda sensing package with the adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking system, forward collision warning, lane departure warning, lane keeping assist system, and the road departure mitigation. In addition to all that, it also has a blind spot monitor and the rear cross traffic monitor. So vehicles behind you, as you're backing out, it will let you know if there's vehicles coming from either way. The name of this color is White Diamond Pearl, and always love a nice pearl coat in white. So let's take a look here at the front end. Now you see it has quite a bit of chrome across the front, all the way over above the LED headlights, and then kind of splits into two portions here in the center. Nice big Honda emblem. And then you have the black grille there at the bottom. Now the headlights are completely powered by LEDs. It has multiple little reflectors in there and an LED accent around the outside. Even the fog light is an LED in a reflector housing. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system, and since it's a minivan, you pretty much will utilize these buttons. You could actually just keep the key in your pocket or a bag or whatever and use the vehicle 100%, but since it has access to the sliding doors and the power lift gate and remote start, all that stuff, you will probably want to use all those because that's really handy. So you can see on the back it has the Honda badge here, and it says driver too. Now it has the ability to remember your settings depending on what key fob enters the vehicle, which is really nice. Okay, let's look at the profile here. And really sleek design. I like the combination of white and black, and then it has kind of the floating roof looking deal over here with the glass underneath that white portion. You also have the grooves for the sliding door kind of hidden away in with the glass, so it's not as noticeable. You have a fairly prominent line here on the side of the door. Actually two of them, one high, one low, and one in the middle, kind of all over the place, but it really does give it a sleek design. I noticed some minivans, they have this like crooked design or whatever, but this one's kind of more straight and has a little bit of a wave there, but nothing too crazy. So as long as you have the key with you, you can lock the door by pushing this button, or unlock it by simply putting your hand behind the handle. As long as this key is within a close proximity of the door, it could be in a bag or your pocket or whatever, you can gain access to the vehicle. All right, so here's the inside of the passenger door, and check it out. I mean, the design here is fantastic. It looks nice. I mean, you have a soft to the touch here, all around your arm. And down here you have this whole, I mean, you have little pockets everywhere. So the handle is a pocket, little tiny pocket there. There, bottle holder, mid shelf, and then another bottle holder with another large storage compartment there at the bottom. Now you notice it has the forward little shelves here, so that way it's easier to get to, so you don't have to like bend your elbow behind you trying to reach. It's just right there, easy to get to. And this is the mocha interior color. So it has a power seat here for your passenger with heated leather seats with the stitching. Very soft and comfortable. It's probably just, if not more comfortable than a chair in your house. And look at all the legroom it has. I'm going to leave the actual numbers and volumes and measurements and all that stuff in the description, but just to give you a visual representation of the vehicle, check it out. It's completely wide. There's no tapering here. The floor mat actually hooks in place in 2 spots, one on each corner, and it's wide open there in the center, so your knees have places to kind of move about. And the center accent right here, soft to the touch dash, and a lockable glove compartment. Smooth plastic on the inside. You have a little like a bag holder or something here. All the rear glass has the privacy glass all back in here, and you can even, if you're allowed to in your state, tint the front glass to match it. But yeah, this really helps out with, you know, people looking in and also the sun from shining on you. Okay, so you can use the key to open up the door, or you can simply pull that and it will open up for you. There's a handle to access the vehicle. The threshold is all plastic here, so that way you can feel okay about stepping inside and not, you know, damaging anything. Okay, so here's the second row seats, and this center portion right in here is removable, and then you have these 2 individual seats here that will, you know, able to slide back and forth once you remove the center seat. Definitely you have to remove the center seat before you have that capability. If the center seat's there, it disables that capability. Now you can slide the seats forward and back, but as far as that slide feature, then it will not work with the center portion. And the center portion, you have to fold it down, unlatch it, and carry it out and find a place for it, or you could put it in the back of the vehicle. And the seats are very comfortable. The legroom is fantastic back here. And let's just take a look here. I'm going to get in a second, but it has the armrests on both of these seats, on both sides of the seats. The latch system for car seats on all 3 seating positions. Just to give you an idea of the extreme articulation here, look how far back the seat reclines and how far forward the seat can go forward. So if you need less legroom, maybe you even have a car seat or whatever here, you can pull the seat forward. You can also use this lever right here to just in one action fold it forward and move it forward in order to access the 3rd row. Okay, so sitting back here, I'm 6 feet tall. I had the front seat all the way back, and look at that. Look how much legroom I have. Just a tremendous amount of space back here, and I have, you know, plenty of legroom to just kind of move my legs around and get comfortable. And on those long trips, this one, it really makes a big difference. Of course, I can recline the seat, I can adjust it, and all that. I also have some cup holders here, little pocket in the front of the back of the front seat here. The vent is on this side pillar. I have climate controls right up in here, so I can adjust those. I also have a light and a handle and a little hook right here, so we can hang something. So let's go ahead and close the door. Closes nice and slow. So kind of scoot over a little bit. So you can see it has the bottle holder and little storage pockets there at the bottom. Your power window control. It's one touch up and down, which is nice. You also have a shade that you're able to lift up and hook right up in there. And the entertainment system comes with this remote, and it gives you this little spot to put the remote right here on the door, which is nice. Just below the cup holders is 2 USB ports and an HDMI input. So that's good for charging devices and everything. So let's look at this entertainment system here. It has a little camera, which we'll get to that in a minute when we get to the front there. It has a little camera system inside this vehicle. But here is your entertainment. Now it has the Blu-ray where you can play discs in there, movies or whatever. It also has the HDMI input, as we saw, and the USB. It also has iHeartRadio and Spotify. Now this looks like a touchscreen, but it's actually not. You use the remote control, so that way, a child sitting in a safety seat or whatever is able to, control the system here. So let's go over here to the right. And it has some kids stuff. So we have the PBS Kids and the different shows and stuff. So let's go to over here to this TG, and this will kind of pop up. This has its own cellular connection, by the way, so that way you can let's go to that. Okay, so just give you an idea of different things that's available right here that it can download. You can watch it. You don't actually have to, if you forget your DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever, you still have something to do here. All right, let's go back out of that. Okay, so this is a pretty cool thing right here. How much farther? So you know how kids in the back, they want to know when we're going to be there. So if you put in the navigation where you're going, it's going to give a timer, but also a visual representation of the actual time left. Right now there's nothing there, but just to give you an idea of what it looks like. See the little Honda Jet there in the background. Just to kind of gives the kids something they can check on, and if we're getting close or how much further it is. That's really cool. And they can go back and forth to that. It does come with 2 wireless headphones for the second row passengers. Of course, you can purchase more. And it has a headphone jack in the very back so that people can plug in more headphones if they need to. It also has the ability for the driver to speak through the headphones if they push a button up there to get the people's attention in the back if they're watching a movie or something like that. Okay, so now I'm in the 3rd row and plenty of leg room. Probably the most comfortable 3rd row seat I've sat in. If you believe that, that's pretty impressive. So even in this, tried all 3 seating positions. I have plenty of leg room, and I, just a very soft seat. So here on the sides, there's some cup holders, a place to put that little remote. If we have it, if we can gain control over it. And then you have a volume and a place to plug in some headphones. You have the screens that lift up on both sides and some lights. You also have a 12-volt power supply back here. Okay, let's take a look at the back of the vehicle. You can see it has a little shark fin antenna on the top and the matte black spoiler back here, which is neat. 3rd brake light integrated into that. And there's your wiper. Has some chrome accenting the width of the vehicle right in this area. And it has a combination of LED and standard bulbs for your tail lights. The backup camera is almost in the center position right in here, a little bit offset. Has the parking sensors across the back. So opening up the power liftgate, you can of course use the key. There's a button just below the Honda emblem you can push. You can actually lock the vehicle too there. But also they have the ability to just kind of kick underneath the rear bumper, and it senses your foot, it senses the key, and it allows you to gain access to the vehicle. Okay, so here's your cargo area, and you can see it goes down there quite a ways. And it also has the Honda vac back here. It's like a little shop vacuum, and it has the hose right there. You can pull it out, you can vacuum. There's the on and on off switch, and you just stuff it back in there and it's out of the way. Little canister right in here that you change, but it's easy to get to. 12-volt power supply and a little storage compartment. Now these seats, if you need some more cargo space, now, I mean, if you just have all the seats occupied, you have this still significant amount of area here, especially considering that it's sunk down to maximize that space. But if you need some more, there's actually tie downs here as well, a place to put a net pocket. But if you need some more cargo space, it's real simple to add to that by pulling this right here, and in one kind of sweeping motion you can fold the seat down, and now you have this big large storage area, this cargo area. So I still have access to these seats. Now I can fold these seats down as well if I need to add to the whole situation. So I can have a combination of cargo and passenger depending on my needs at the moment. If I need to keep this seat up and the larger seat down, then I can do that depending on what I need. So this is a really good idea, and I'm glad that that they made it so easy back here, because these are the seats that are more where you're going to need that capability more so than the second row. Now the second row seats, you do have the ability to remove the seats if you need to, but they generally just slide around, move forward and back. But if you remove them, you're gonna have to find a spot to put them. To close the power liftgate, you just push this button, or you can use the key and it'll close down. Now you can set the height by manually pulling it and putting it right where you want it to be, and then press and hold the button until it beeps, and that way it'll set the height, the maximum height that it'll actually go to, so that way if you have a low garage or something like that, it doesn't go all the way up. The fuel door is on the driver's side, and it's locking fuel door. So right now it's locked, but it locks and unlocks with the actual remote, or the vehicle. So as I unlock the vehicle, whether it be the remote or the buttons on the inside, it unlocks the doors, but also unlocks the fuel door as well. And you can see it's a capless design, so that way you don't have to fumble with the cap or get your hands dirty. You just pump the gas and you're good to go. Let's go ahead and start it up. As long as the key's inside the vehicle, it can be in a bag, it could be in your pocket or whatever. Put your foot on the brake and push the button, it'll start right up. So here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see the floor mat hooks in place, just like the other side, and wide open. It does have a large footrest here, right in here, and there's your accelerator and brake pedals. You can see it's wide open there. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch a little bit to the left of the center here. Just move it to the right and lift up. It's a very lightweight hood. It does require a prop to hold up. There's the prop right here. It has two positions actually. Right here for the normal position, and if you need the hood really high up, you can put it in this lower position. Like that. See how high the hood goes? Okay, so take a look at the engine compartment. It has the insulated firewall in the back. The strut towers are secure with the structure of the vehicle, the ACE body structure. So it has an i-VTEC 3.5 liter V6 with variable cylinder management, VCM, so that way it can kill like 3 cylinders, I think it is, to save some gas when you don't need all that power. Now it pumps out 280 horsepower, and it's paired to a 10-speed, not the bicycle, a 10-speed automatic transmission. So that's a first for me anyway in a front-wheel drive vehicle. And there's the battery just under here. Take a look at the inside of the driver's side doors, just like the other side, except for it's kind of like a mirror of the other side with all the pockets and all that, except for it's missing the little pocket right here because it has the power windows, and it's a one touch down and one touch up here for the power windows. 2 memory seat positions. Your side mirrors are adjusted with this little pad, so you can just pick a side. Power seat here for the driver's seat, but they're a little bit more privileged because they have the 4-way lumbar adjustments. So right in here we can turn off some of the sensing options here. So the road departure mitigation system, you can turn that on and off. We can turn on and off the forward collision warning system and the parking sensors. There's the traction control. We can turn that off if we want to. Default is always on. Now it has the brake hold feature, so you turn that on and it will actually hold the vehicle still while you're stopped at a stoplight or something like that. So it applies the brakes and hold it. It will hold them until you push the accelerator, and then it'll release them, and then you can go. Now certain parameters have to be met. You know, the seat belt has to be on and stuff like that. Now the electronic parking brake is a little bit different from what I can tell. You actually push it in to engage it, and then you pull it out to release it. You have to use the push the brake to release it. And the steering column is a tilt and telescoping type. Okay, sitting in the driver's seat and checking it out. Really love these seats, very comfortable, and the large footrest here on the left side is fantastic. That is a must for me anyway. And just plenty of knee room and leg room. I could just really just kind of get comfortable and change positions or whatever. So let's go ahead and start here on the steering wheel. It's a leather wrap steering wheel, soft to the touch with the stitching here on the inside, and just really nice looking and quality feeling. Now your cruise control is here on the right side. Now it's not a normal cruise control. It has the adaptive cruise control. It also has the lane keeping assist abilities. You can turn it on and do all your settings here. You can also set your distance on the adaptive cruise control here, so it adjusts your distance between you and the vehicle in front of you while you're on the highway. Here on the left side is the volume for your radio. Now you actually push it. There's no sliding going on here, so you push the buttons up and down, and then you can change through your audio tracks and your presets, and then you can go into your home button, home screen or whatever, and back out of certain screens. And you have your Bluetooth controls and your voice recognition controls. I really recommend getting to know, if you own this vehicle or you purchase this vehicle, learn how to use your voice recognition. It really makes things a lot easier and safer because you can keep your hands on the wheel, eyes on the road, and you're actually staying productive, doing the things you want, sending and receiving calls, and just all kinds of things that you can do with voice recognition nowadays. On the back of the steering wheel is actually paddle shifters, so you can cycle through the 10 gear ratios in this vehicle, which is pretty neat. Paddle shifters. You can see they're pretty good size too. Paddle shifters on a minivan. This is pretty fun. And then you have your front and rear wipers and washers. On the left side is your turn signal. It also has your headlight controls. You have automatic. You can turn on and off and all that there, and then your fog lights are controlled right here. Okay, so check out this gauge cluster. It's all digital. So here on the left side is your engine coolant temperature, and on the right side is your fuel gauge. It's all digitally rendered. And here in the very center, you see you have a digital speedometer right here, and an RPMs. You can make the RPMs go away if you want to, then part of the settings if you want. You just focus on the speed. So I'm going to use these buttons here, the back button and these. So right now I have it in the blank screen, which is going to, it's a selection, so I have to hit back out of that selection. So you can see it's part of the menu system now. Now that I'm in the menu system, I can use these buttons to go up and down. And let's go ahead and go all the way to the top here. You can see it goes back. Okay, so there's your top. Show and hide apps. So we can lock that. We can go into the trip computer, the phone. All these different things are able to just make them disappear, or so they don't show up here on this screen. So it'll be less cluttered. So if you don't want the phone or the navigation to show up in this area, you can make that selections. And then you can go into your trip computer. So you have A and B, distance, average fuel economy, and your range. And then kind of like a little instant fuel economy there at the very bottom, just kind of showing you what's going on in the moment. Let's go back out of that. Your phone, once you pair a phone, you'll have access to information there as far as caller ID and things. And then your navigation. Right now there's no destination chosen, it's just showing a digital compass, but you can get information here while you're en route. Now playing, this is basically what's going on with your system. So it could be your media system or whatever's going on. You can actually, there's nothing connected right now, but it'll kind of show you what's playing. And then you can go into your maintenance, tire pressure. You can actually see that. And then your oil life, you can see how long it's before you have to change the oil. And then your settings, this is where you can take out the tachometer here at the very top, or you can have it either way. You can also arrange the apps, so you can move them up and down, so that way you kind of prioritize them. And then you can change the units, so kilometers per hour or miles per hour. And then you can go back to that blank screen. So just kind of give you an idea of what's in that screen. It's really easy, intuitive to use, and looks nice. I really like the colors and the clarity of the screen. And you can really simplify or complicate the screen. So I like the, if I'm not really going into any of this stuff, I really like the blank screen. So that's pretty neat, kind of makes it less cluttered. I can also, take away the tachometer or the RPMs there at the very top to kind of make it even less cluttered. So pretty neat. Alright, so there's the start button. We already saw that. And check out the touchscreen. Now it kind of protrudes a little bit from the dash. I don't know if you can see that. Just kind of make it bigger without obstructing too much space up here. Now there's a little bit of a glare on the camera, but I can see it fine with my eyes. So you have some soft touch buttons here on the ends. So let's go ahead and hit the home button. And in the home button is similar to a cell phone, in which you can rearrange these and move them around. You can also add or remove them, these little icons. You can swipe. Okay, so here on the home screen, let's go ahead and take a look at the radio. So you have your presets there, and what stations and all that stuff is on. Let's go back to the home, take a look at the phone if we can see anything. There's nothing connected, so can't really show it, but anyways, you'll have access to your phone book and recent calls, and maybe be able to send and receive. You also have your caller ID there on the screen. Your rear entertainment, this is where you can actually see what's going on back there. So you can also turn on how much farther app for the rear occupants. So if the kids are asking you we're there yet over and over again, you can go ahead and turn that on so they can give you they can get an idea of what's going on. You also have the ability to talk to them with cabin talk. This will go, there's a microphone up here, and it'll project the sound through the speakers as well as through the headphones back there. You can also disable the remote or enable the remote here. So you have a lot of control over the apps, the rear portion of the entertainment. You can also go into the rear apps, and just like the back screen, you can have full control right up here. Alright, let's go into the settings. There's a bunch of settings. I'm not going to go into all of them, but just to give you an idea of what's there. And let's look at the navigation. So right now we're in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We can kind of zoom out here so you can see where we're at. There's the ocean, and we're at East Coast Honda. I really like the clarity of the screen. The resolution is nice. The colors are crisp. Really like this screen. Okay, so then you have the Bluetooth audio. Of course, you have to have a device connected before you can play anything, but this is really a good way of playing music, so you don't have to plug in anything. You have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay capabilities. You have a trip computer. You get the information there. You can send and receive messages, your text messages, through your phone using your voice to reply, which is nice. Safety feature. There's your satellite radio, your USB import, auxiliary input, your social playlist. So this is where everybody can add to the playlist using their phones. So you have to connect to cabin control, and each device has to be paired, but everybody can add to the song that they want to play, and it kind of adds to this social playlist in the vehicle. There's your AM, FM. System updates. This will be updated wirelessly through the cell phone connection the vehicle has. It has its own cellular connection. And then you have cabin watch. We can actually look back there and keep an eye on the kids and use that center camera, and we can look at we can pinch and zoom and look in car seats. We could zoom in and out, look at everybody, get wherever we want to do. We can move it around. Look in the very back, look here in the front. Let's say you have a child right here. You can zoom in and focus on that, or just get a big picture view. And then you have a quick access right here to the cabin talk, so you can, get their attention or whatever. Now this has a mobile hotspot, so you can have a Wi-Fi hotspot here in the vehicle. And you have Honda Link, and there's cabin talk here. You can adjust the clock settings here. Let's go into that. It actually shows a nice clock here in the center. And from what I understand, let's see the different styles that they have. Let's go to the settings, clock faces. So in addition to changing the time, we can change the actual screen. So there's the Honda robot there. Let's go ahead and change it to that. So that's pretty neat. And so, like, say if you're focused on the time or whatever, you can just have a big clock there in the center. And we can go into all apps, and we can choose the ones that we want on the home. Show on home. We can add or remove all that stuff, whatever we want. This is all good. Really like the new system they have in this vehicle. It has a traditional volume knob and all that stuff too. Okay, so here's your climate control. It's of course, a tri-zone. So you have your front driver, front passenger, and your rear climate, which you control up here. There's your temperatures, driver and passenger, your fan speed. You can put on automatic, which will control that. And you can switch from front to rear there. Also have the front and rear defrosters, which the rear defrosters will also turn on the heated side mirrors. Heated seat controls is a 3-stage, so there's high, medium, and low for both the driver and the passenger. Now, sitting at a stoplight or a stop sign for an extended period of time, it will turn the engine off. The stop-start feature will do that. You can turn that feature off if you need to. You will have to turn it off each time you start the vehicle. It won't stay off. You even have a snow mode, so this will give a softer acceleration, and I think it starts in a higher gear just to keep it from using so much torque and maybe breaking traction. It also has the eco mode, and your 4-way flashers are there. So this is actually right here in the center is your shifter. So I know it looks like just a bunch of buttons, but right now we're in park. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in reverse. So what you do is you put your foot on the brake and you pull this back. Now the vehicle's in reverse. The backup camera shows up here and has active guidelines. Look at that, active guidelines. You can change the camera view, have the wide shot, more linear, more narrow, and then this will be the more linear but straight down, kind of looking directly behind the vehicle. And then right here is your cross path detection system. You can turn on and off depending on if it's you know, serving your needs or not. And then we can actually see a visual representation of the monitor system around the vehicle as we're parking, so we can see where to, you know, really focus on. If it starts beeping, we're getting close to something. You notice it has sensors here on the sides, in the front, as well as all across the back. All right, so moving on with the shifter, we have neutral. So you notice the little light moves around depending on where we're at, so that way we can, you know, kind of get an idea of it. So there's your neutral, and then your drive is here. You just push that, and now we're in drive. If we push it again, it will put us in sport mode. So this will emphasize, kind of opposite of eco, it will emphasize performance over fuel economy. Push it again, it goes back into drive. And then when we're ready to park, we just push the park button. Now you will need to push the brake before it will disengage park, so it's not like you're going to accidentally push that button and the vehicle is going to go flying or anything like that. Okay, here's your Blu-ray optical drive down here, and from what I understand, I may be wrong, this actually has the ability to play DVDs and CDs. So I haven't tried it, but that's my understanding anyway. So you have the power outlet, 12-volt power supply there, as well as an AC adapter, 2-prong, goes up to 150 watts. Okay, so check out this large area, just an empty space. Sometimes empty space is what you need in a vehicle. So they just left this area open. This is where having a shifter up here kind of saves this space, and a lot of people will put a bag here or just whatever they need to put here. Really handy to have this wide open space. Whatever you happen to carry with you, you have a place to put it right there. Nice big spot. So there's some cup holders, and it's open in the center, so you can put your cell phone or whatever right in there. Storage pocket here, that's another good spot to put a cell phone, and it's kind of rubberized, so that way it doesn't, whatever you put in there is not going to slide around so easy. And check it out, right in here, so these seats, all these have the armrests that are adjustable. So at first it goes down, you lift it up, and then it won't go down, it kind of ratchets up, and then you get to a certain point and then it'll allow you to go back down. So all the seats have that feature, which is nice. Okay, so check it out. This is kind of textured right here, and this opens up, it locks, and then you push this button to release it, and there's a pretty good sized storage pocket in there, storage compartment. And there's a 2.5 amp USB drive and charger, and there's your auxiliary input. Okay, so the rearview mirror is auto dimming, and it's actually auto dimming right now because we have the shade over the light sensor. So it's auto dimming, and it has the HomeLink garage door opener controls here at the very bottom. You can turn the auto dimming feature on and off with that little green button right here. So you have some lights, tap lights here and here. This is for your moonroof, which we'll get to in just a minute. Over here is your interior lights. You can turn them all on by pushing it down, all off by pushing it all the way back, or here in the center position for them to turn on with the door. Alright, there's your Honda Link, where you can actually talk to a roadside assistance person. There's actually assistance right there, and a place to put some shades or safety glasses or whatever, your glasses up here, and you lift it up and drop it, and then you have this conversation mirror, which is an addition to the cabin watch, so you can keep an eye on them with this without having the camera on, or you can have both or whatever, depends on the situation. The visor has a mirror with lights. Okay, it's time for the sunroof. Okay, so the sunroof actually has a shade that covers up 100% of the light. You can open it up and get some light in. And let's go ahead and open it up, kind of vent it like so. Or we can open it up all the way back. As far as it goes. And you can close the shade if you need to. Okay, visibility in the back. I actually have one seat down, so give you an idea there as far as the third row. The headrests kind of line up with the pillars, depending, I guess, on which way you're looking. But there's a lot of windows back there. So, as far as the visibility, not too shabby. Of course, you have the blind spot monitor system, you know, the backup camera, the sensors, all that stuff to help you out. And by the way, the blind spot monitor system in the 18 Odyssey, the indicator is right here in the pillar. So it's no longer in the side mirror, it's here in the pillar. So if you're looking for that, there it is. Alright, so let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think of the 18 Odyssey? I think it's fantastic. I think they did a great job. It was definitely time for them to do something with it, and I think they hit it just right. So thank you for watching, and thank you to East Coast Honda here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, for allowing me to show off another awesome vehicle, and I'll see you guys next time.